show you in this video how in 3 minutes a day you can remove and reverse damage that is causing you headaches, migraines, and neck pain in general. This is a hidden, really untalked about, really unknown cause that millions and millions of Americans are suffering with. It's just not many people know how to test with it. I've been blessed, unfortunately, through injured family members to understand what I'm about to show you in this video and how in 3 simple minutes a day you can rehab this. Just like rolling an ankle or damaging your knee or having an old injury with your hip or your back, you can rehab this to life very quickly. I'm going to show you how to do it right here. Let me give you a little backstory. So your neck, the way that it is designed, right? Let's go to the whiteboard. So friendly little head design, bear with me, I'm not an artist, of the bones in your neck. There are 7 of them, okay? So as we work our way up the neck, the top bone in the neck is called atlas. You remember the dude with the world on his back, holding up the world? That guy's name was Atlas. This holds up your world, your head, okay? So it's like a bowling ball sitting on top of this little bone. This bone's job is to turn your head side to side and help to take it left to right. So that bone right there rotates everything. Now here's where the problem comes in. The amount of car accidents, slips and falls, aggressive sports, and other injuries like being thrown off a horse happen to human beings a lot. Nod your head right now if you had one of those where you're like, ooh, I remember that. I remember one time I was coming around the corner as a kid. I was probably 16, and my family friends had played a joke on our parents. They had strung a clothesline across the yard, hung some inappropriate things from it while they were on vacation. That line was still up. I wasn't expecting it to be there. I came running around the corner and wham! That thing literally clotheslined me. You had moments like that in your lifetime? Slipping, falling on some ice, been in a fender bender, been in a car accident. One time I pulled out from a gas station and a semi took off the front end of my truck. We've all had these incidences. In those incidents was what research has shown is that only a 5-mile-an-hour collision, a 5-mile-an-hour car accident can cause damage to the top part of this neck, specifically to the atlas. So you could be walking around having these issues. You could have a car accident 10 years ago, 20 years ago. You could have a slip or a fall 40 years ago, and you are suffering now from migraines. You are suffering now from headaches. You are suffering now from neck pain, and you're wondering, why the heck do I have this? I don't understand where this came from. It came from that culmination of damage, and now it's starting to show up because there is instability in the top of your neck. It would be no different than rolling your ankle. It would be no different than overusing your wrist and getting carpal tunnel. It'd be no different than straining or dislocating your shoulder. That area is going to have weakness long term. That area is going to probably cause you some problems as you get older, especially depending on how you use it. So what do we do about this? Let's understand the anatomy really quick. Okay, so that top bone in the neck, atlas, looks like this. Looks like a weird eyeball almost, right? This atlas bone has this distinct shape. In the middle of it is a hole where the second bone in the neck comes up like a little thumb poking through, right? That hole right there pokes through. And so the bone connects to it, so then the top bone in the neck can rotate left to right. Now, to keep you from being an owl and having your head spin all the way around and look behind you, there are little ligaments in place to keep you in check. These check ligaments are called alar ligaments, A-L-A-R, and they keep you from completely spinning around. They also prevent you from over-rotating your head or snapping it too far one way forward or backward in a car accident, in a clothesline, in a slip and fall when you bang your head. And so we strain these. Think of it just like you roll your ankle. Oh, that ligament gets stretched out. What's the ligament do? It inflames, it swells up, and it has longer term problems. It's never quite the same. It never quite responds. Ligaments are like plastic. If you stretch out a plastic baggie, it doesn't rebound. It doesn't come back really. You can do some things to increase blood flow to try to lay down new tissue to help strengthen that area, and your neck is no different. So these are the alar ligaments, these red dots. They connect to that second bone in the neck. They connect to the top bone in the neck, and they keep your head in check, and they are constantly damaged, especially in car accidents and major traumas throughout your life. Could that possibly be the cause of your migraine and or headaches and or neck pain? It sure was for my mother-in-law. It sure was for my father. They had damage, my father on one side, my mother-in-law on both sides, where these ligaments had become frayed, damaged, weakened, stretched out, issues with them over time, and it just did not recover. So there was an instability on one side of the neck, and when there's an instability, when you go to rotate or to move your head, that bone slides a little bit more than it should be. Kind of like your knee, just getting a little weak, and it kind of pops out. The shoulder kind of just gets stretched out a little bit and doesn't quite stay into place. Your ankle, once you've rolled it once, you have susceptibility to roll it again. So that's what happens up here, except that instability, because this ligament is deteriorated or damaged or injured, starts to create pain in the form of a migraine or in the form of a headache, and any kind of irritation you do with that, whether it be physical activity, whether it be sitting too long, whether it be some kind of force put into this area, you're going to irritate that thing, inflame it, get yourself a migraine. Once we figured this out for my mother-in-law, poof, migraines have decreased tenfold, 100-fold. She can now enjoy November Thanksgivings and gatherings, and she's not missing crucial events by sitting in a room throwing up all day because of migraine headaches. So this is exactly what I'm going to do for you. Here's how we fixed it. All right. 3 minutes a day. Here it is. All right. Let's work on both sides. You might have one side that is weakened versus the other. There is ways to test that to check it out, but for just sake of discussion, we can all assume we've got some level of damage up there. I mean, I used to be a wrestler and just dragging my head all over the place. I know I got some ligament damage. So you will take your arm and bend it at the elbow and place your palm of your hand on the side of your head, and your elbow is straight, just like me. Follow along. You can do this right now. You will take your other hand, reinforce the outside of your elbow, and then you are going to push against your hand and not move your head, not tilt it. You're just going to push. I'm pushing. My head is slightly shaking. My head is slightly shaking. See that? I'm not doing this. I'm keeping my head nice and straight. I'm pushing against my hand. This hand is helping me be able to push against it. And you're just going to hold. And you can even smile when you do it. And you're just going to count. Maybe at first you can only go 20 seconds or 30 or 40. But I'm going to challenge you to try to go for a minute. And what you are going to feel is right on the side that you have your elbow on, at the very top of the neck, right where the LR ligament is, you're going to get stimulated blood flow, a challenging feeling, a little quivering, a little weakness. You're going to feel it kind of right through this area over time. So pushing against your side of your head on the elbow and push. And it can be fairly firm that you're pushing against it. Then what are you going to do? You're going to switch. You're going to go the other side for another minute. So we're now 2 minutes in, or if you only could do half of that, then you're only 1 minute in because you do 30 seconds on one side, 30 on the other. Ideally, you're working up to 60 seconds on each side. That is exercise number 1. Exercise number 2, both sides, LR ligament exercises. Finally, let's strengthen the ligaments that sit right through here that are not the LR ligaments, but are going to help hold this whole bone in place to be more stable. Right at the base of your skull, that's usually the tender area for headaches and migraines. A lot of them originate there. Neck pain happens there. Anytime I kind of rub that area or stretch it out, people go, oh yeah, that area right there. So what we're going to do for this area is take the tips of your fingers, put them right on your forehead. You're going to keep nice, straight, upright posture, and you're going to push against your hands. And my head is quivering. I'm pushing very firm, but my head is not coming forward. We don't want to create forward head posture. We want to create a resistance. And what's going to happen is you're going to feel the strain in those muscles right up there. We're stimulating blood flow to that area. It's bringing blood flow back to it. We are strengthening our neck to make it more stable. You've created instability with falls, with traumas, with the way that we sit, with bad posture, with improperly using this. For many, many years, we got to restore some biomechanics and strengthen the area. 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 1 minute holding here. You get a little sweat going. You might feel a little bit of strain. If you do that on a daily basis, you are going to start stimulating blood flow, laying down new ligaments, and you're going to reinforce your LR ligament to get back to the way it's supposed to. It's going to hold that in check. Migraines are going to go down. Enjoyment is going to go up. You're going to get your life back. If you want to know more rehabs like this, I've been doing it for decades, helping people out of simple problems like an elbow or a wrist or a knee or an ankle or whatever it may be. Check out this next video right here, which is an entire playlist of all my rehab videos to help you get you experiencing real health. Don't forget to throw in some omegas and some turmeric to help lower the inflammation that surrounds these kind of rehab problems. You can check that out below.